Good evening. My name is Ryan Moore, and I'm not going to state my address for the record, and here's why. The BOE policies state that you're supposed to state your address for the record. The Connecticut General Statutes, Open Records Act, says there can be no preconditions upon which participation is required. So not only are your policies in conflict, in contravention with the general statutes. I have no problem giving my address. I bet you everybody here knows it by heart. But as an act of protest against statutes that are unfair and that have been distributed unfairly and unequally to the residents of this town, I'm not going to state my address because I don't need to. And I think that you should have your policies come into alignment with general statutes. Yes.
I would like to just stop you there for a minute. I want you to have all the time to talk. I'm just going by what we have in our bylaws of the board right now, and that's not to say that we aren't going to be going over them and making sure that they're completely, up to date, and maybe things will even change. But I would ask that until we can revisit these bylaws, that you would please follow them.
So I'm not going to state, it's up to you whether or not you take my time from me, but I would say that I'm not going to state it because that's my right to not have to state it. And I'm sorry, but unless people stand up for their rights, then their rights get stripped from them. And we've seen that happen here before, right? We saw Mrs. LeBlanc allow certain people to use the JFK address, and I tried to protest kind of silently.
Or has he already gotten his 4 minutes?
Excuse me?
As a point of order, you haven't followed the direction. And I was asking if your 4 minutes was running or not.
Okay.
Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore,
Okay, so since you interrupted, am I going to get my time back?
I stopped
This
your
is
time.
my time. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've
Moore?
seen that that's been distributed unequally, right? So certain people can use the JFK address, but when I tried to do it in a very kind of mediocre way, to not call attention to it, use the JFK address to say it needs to be, if you're going to have a policy, which that's not in the policy, is it, Tina? Even though you've misrepresented that, it's not in the policy. That certain people can use the JFK address and certain other people can't. So that none of this, and here's my point. I think that moving forward, I hope this board does treat everyone equally and fairly. And I hope there is, in all these, that's just one policy, right? That's not being dispensed fairly, okay? And I hope you guys will take the policies that are in contravention to the general statutes and unconstitutional, the things that, so here's another example. That could have cost this town tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars maybe, okay? We had certain people come up here and pin our superintendent, right? Not a part of, not on the agenda, but they can pin the superintendent and sing his praises. We had other people come up here and they want to make claims that the superintendent is doing certain things that are wrong. And certain people find that offensive. So that person gets shut down. That's a textbook case, open and shut, of viewpoint discrimination. Textbook. So if someone wanted to sue for that, they could have sued. And that would cost the town thousands and thousands of dollars. So I hope that this board moving forward can correct the policies and actually address the things that have happened in the past. Thank you for pointing out the things that have happened with Pizzagate. There needs to be an address of the root cause of what's happening, because that wasn't the first assignment that was in this school. And we were talking for years about the test scores before the Alliance District came out. So I hope there will be a rectification of looking at the past and actually fixing the policies that have led us here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Can I have William?